Today's the day that we get started on the guest bedroom.
We're slowly renovating our 1970s lake house and are ready to jump into our next project. This guest bedroom was pretty plain when we first moved in, not at all the kind of inviting space you would want for guests. And when you live in the middle of nowhere, you want to give people a reason to come visit. The goal is to turn this into a cozy and calming space, and as always, we're trying to do it on a budget.
This room is very spacious and echoey. Not a whole lot of natural light in here. There is one window. Well, I guess two, but one doesn't count because it's completely blocked by a deck. So that's getting covered up. But this room needs just a little bit of love. It needs paint, it needs new floors, it needs furniture, it needs some help. If you've been watching our channel, you probably know that our last project was our guest bathroom, which is just down the hall from this bedroom. So we're trying to make like a guest suite down here. So when we have either my mom or other relatives, friends come and stay with us, they have their own space that is comfortable and inviting and not a creepy basement. What do you have back there?
An iced latte made by my wonderful wife.
It's true. I've become quite the barista.
So we did have a bed and 2 nightstands in here before, but other than that, there was really nothing that we needed to move out, so we just got started right away by removing the trim.
Well, bad news. Most of the trim comes off very easily, but I got the wall. Whoops.
There were a lot of little holes and scrapes in the walls, so I just went around and patched those up. Our house is actually a duplex, and this lower unit was previously used as a rental property. We don't know much about the tenant other than that they had tons of hooks in the walls and ceilings, and we're guessing those were for plants.
So we have this funky little window up here that is not functional because the deck, or the walkway rather, between our house and the garage is built over it. So like no light comes in and you can't open it or anything. It's just like a non-functioning window. We're not gonna like take it out and cover it up because we're lazy. So we're just going to, or Cole rather, is creating just some blocking to put up there right now. So when we cover this wall with what you'll see we're gonna cover it with, we'll have something to screw into and just make it a little more sturdy.
Once that blocking was in, we used our laser level to mark where all the studs were in the wall, and then I just marked those spots on the floor using painter's tape.
These are the panels. They're gonna go on this wall. We were originally gonna do like real shiplap or tongue and groove or something, but my concern with doing that was if we ever do need to access that window with tongue and groove, like you can't just take those boards out because they're all connected, right? So I was like, well, that's silly. What are we gonna do? Then we found these, which won't necessarily be any easier to take out. So you can see they're like fake shiplap. This is just a piece of cedar that has these grooves in it, so it looks like panels. So we're gonna put this up, and if we ever need to take a sheet down, it's not that big of a deal. We can either get another sheet. These are just from Menards, so I'm not super concerned about like not being able to find this again. So we can just find another sheet, put it up, make it all look good.
We used construction adhesive on the back of the panels and then placed shims on the bottom to make sure that the panels were level, since the floor in here is definitely not level. This is why it helps to know where the studs are, so we can make sure that we're nailing in the correct spot once the panels are up, and then we just repeated that same process 2 more times.
are back in the guest bedroom. It's been a few days. Cole got some stuff done during this past work week. He rerouted some electrical so we can mount a TV up here, which will be just lovely for our guests. We don't even have a TV in our room. And the goal of the evening is to get our first coat of paint on these walls. Now, I posted over on Instagram asking people what the heck we should do with this wall. If we should leave it raw cedar, stain it, paint it. I'm still leaning towards painting it because we put this in just to have the texture. We never really planned on leaving it like this. And I just think once we get the floors in here and the wood furniture, it's gonna be too many different wood tones that don't coordinate with each other. So I think we're gonna paint it, but we'll probably do all the other walls first and then see how that looks.
Before painting, I always like to wipe down the walls using a very diluted TSP solution, so that's what we're doing here.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Like pea soup.
Oh, it doesn't look like pea soup. That is Mountain Road by Sherwin Williams. You can see I tested 3 colors over there.
Which one is it?
Mountain Road is the one over here on the right.
Looks like the one in the middle.
It's not.
Really?
Really. Gorgeous. So after seeing everything with the walls painted and this wall raw still, we agree, shockingly, that it doesn't look great. We think this wall needs to be painted. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like, I don't know. It just looks kind of like unfinished and cheap. Would you agree?
Yeah, like if we didn't paint it, we would have to stain it.
Yeah, we're gonna paint it. Got the second coat done, except for the wood wall. So you can probably see all those little white dots. I totally forgot to fill the nail holes before painting the first coat. So I sanded down the wood after the first coat because since it was raw wood, there were just some spots where the texture was causing the paint to look different and splotchy. So I sanded it down, filled the nail holes, sanded it down again, and now I'm gonna do the second coat on that wall. We are very pleased with our decision to paint this wall. We think it looks really good. Not so much in pictures and on camera because this light is so awful in here, but I believe it was the right move. We finished the painting. I painted the ceiling. I didn't record any of that because nobody wants to watch me just paint a white ceiling. The next big step is to get the flooring installed. We picked it up from Home Depot yesterday. Took a little bit longer to get here than we were expecting because we had to order it. We are going with a light oak. Never used this kind of flooring before, and you can see that these are really long planks. Cole is the expert floor installer. I will not be of any use in this part of the process.
I've done it one time.
No, you did it another time.
Well, at the camper.
And
I've
your
done it
house.
at one house and then the camper.
So you've installed flooring 2 times.
Twice. Sure.
That's pretty
I
good.
just don't like it hyping me up in case people are talking crap.
I'm just saying you know more than I know. This is not my realm. I do the painting and the planning. These are 5-foot planks, right?
Yep.
5-foot planks. And we are just putting them directly over the tile, which we were a little concerned about doing this because you can see there are pretty large grout lines on this floor, and we don't really know how that's gonna go. But to tear all this floor up would just be an absolute nightmare. This is all throughout the basement, so we are going to kind of do this as a test run and install the flooring over the tile. Hopefully everything goes well, and if it does, then we will likely be putting the same flooring throughout the rest of the downstairs, and eventually, hopefully, the upstairs.
Okay, so watching this back, we did not know what we were doing in the beginning of this process, so please do not use this as a how-to guide. This is Malibu wide plank LVP in the color Alturas. Now, some older styles of luxury vinyl plank flooring had a less sophisticated locking mechanism, so that's why we were originally trying to put it in at an angle like this, and it was not correct. It ended up taking us way longer than expected to figure things out.
We'll put in this first row and see what we think of it. Yes. I can leave a little bit.
I think it is.
Yeah, no, this.
Okay, we are like maybe a third of the way done, a little over a third of the way done. Things have gotten a little bit better. I feel like we're sort of figuring out just the nuances of this particular flooring, but it's been a little rough. We've been at it for like, I don't know, 2.5 hours, and this is only as far as we've gotten. On the plus side, it looks really good. It's just installing it has been a nightmare. Like, it was to the point where we were thinking, do we just like scrap this, get a completely different flooring, because we're hoping to install this many more times in the future. But I think things are slowly working their way to better things.
Talking crap in here?
No, I'm not talking crap.
The tongue and groove on these boards is really tiny and flexible, so the best thing to do is just place it in the correct spot directly on top of the one next to it, and then give it a few light taps to lock it into place. That became my job after Cole broke a few planks trying to tap them into place. I also used a tapping block to get the long edge to lock into place. We actually really ended up liking the flooring once we got the hang of installing it, so I'll make sure I put the link down in the description.
We're fading.
We are fading.
Dinner break?
Yes.
All we have left is this long, skinny cut.
And we have to rip.
We'll have to rip 3 planks and then work around this thing and then finish the closet. So we are like 99 point, well, I'd say we're 97% done.
95.
95, okay.
Once the flooring was done, we just installed new molding and trim everywhere, which really tied everything together. Then it was finally time to get some furniture back in here. I bought a new rug for the room. Other than that, we tried to use pieces that we already had, like the same bed frame and nightstands. As a reminder, here's how it looked before, and here's the after. Here's a look at our cost breakdown. The largest expense was flooring, $750 total. But aside from that, we did keep costs low. Even the rug was under $300. The new ceiling fan was $150. A lot of the decor that we put in here was stuff, again, that we already had. We actually found the lamps and lampshades at Goodwill and spent less than $30 for the pair. So the total for the room came out to $1,741. All right, that's gonna do it for this video. Finally, we took our sweet time getting this space done. We have had a handful of guests stay down here already, and so far, no complaints, not that they've shared with us. I absolutely love how this space turned out. I feel like it's so calming down here. And now that we're working on the rest of the basement, it's a nice little escape. Like when I just need a minute to lie down, I'll come in here and it's very relaxing. So don't forget to comment down below and let me know what you think of how this space turned out. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like. Also subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we will see you in the next one.